How bad is it? Terrible. Horrendous. 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 Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in City Skylines 2, playing our city of Second City, and I just want to start off by saying thank you for the 10,000 subscribers. That is absolutely incredible, and I just am so pumped. I also want to shout out John Jackson. Thank you so much for being my first Waffle level member on the channel. I really appreciate it. This channel would not be what it is without all of you guys, so thanks for the likes, the comments, the suggestions, the feedback, the engagement. I really appreciate it. If you've not subscribed yet, I think only like 25% of you are actually subscribed. So feel free to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It just helps the channel. It helps me reach more people. And it gives me just, a little bit of motivation boost. So just smack the subscribe button. Today, we're going to work on Blue Dog Isle. Last episode, we kind of finished out Keats Industrial Port. You will notice I have done some small work here over in Old City. She did not always look like this. Really, I just went around, I added a bunch of row homes. Similarly, over here, we've got just a bunch of row homes. Just kind of doing some little detailing work here and there. I also added in a mansion. However, the people who live here are poor. So make it make sense. They've got this private mansion overlooking the ocean and that they're poor. This is where the focus is for the day. So I kind of know that right here in this central area where we have Treeing Walker Street with the parking, that this is going to be our primary area for office, commercial, the high-risey buildings. And then over in this area is going to be more residential. But at the moment, we can't get anybody in here because there is no road or boat connection to speak of. There's nothing. So I need to connect this up to the highway at a minimum. I'm going to do something crazy and delete a major entrance and exit to our city. Sorry, everyone. You have to go. I've got to put this in here instead. There's also a power line in the way. We'll come back and fix it. Don't you worry. I think if we rotate just a little bit more that direction, we can place that. Now, we are going to have to remove some of this right here because this is going to have to merge into all this. So let's just remove those connections there. I'm also going to go ahead and remove these connections and these connections so that we can then kind of blend them together. Those all look like they only go straight, and I'm going to even leave that bush that's right there. I did disconnect some things. That was not intentional, so let's see if we can just reconnect those up. If I upgrade this to this, that's all good to go. And our power, which it can do so right there. So now we should have power and water in this area. Over here, someone had suggested I move the passenger terminal over to here, and I thought about it. I could, I think. Is it able to be this far away from... No, it has to be inside this circle. Yeah. So, unfortunately, this is just too far, and I don't want it on this backside here facing this way. Although that could make sense, I guess, in some respect, because this is where the main channel is. But I think instead, what I'd rather do is I'd rather add another ferry stop over here. I think that would be awesome. So we have the ferry depot, and we have the ferry terminal. The ferry terminal is complete with a ferry terminal pier, allowing ferries to dock at the terminal. Can also be upgraded with a bus terminal. So what I think we do is we do a ferry terminal. And why we do that is because we have got two different lines here. We have got a blue line and we have a green line for our ferries. And I think they could both make a final stop down this way in Blue Dog Isle. So this area is going to be a bit more residential. I could see this being over here somewhere, or it could be on the backside, because then I should be able to grab this right here, and right there is ferries. There are ferry stops. I can see them. Okay. Now we come back in here with the boatway. So this ferry line is also going to come over to here and stop right over here in Blue Dog Isle. This green ferry line is now not going to do the same loop. Instead, I want to make some changes to the green lines. I don't know what the best way is to get rid of other ferry lines. Like, I don't want to mess up the blue. I just want to mess up the green. So the green line currently stops all along this river, right? From up here all the way south. I'm thinking it stops here maybe. It does not come over this direction. And it stops over here. This other stop is only completed by this like island hopper that we've got going on. Now, does it go around and to the other side? That would make the most sense. There is other traffic here, which isn't ideal. Or better yet, actually, say screw it to this. Let the green line just stop here and here, which would mean I probably want to give it like another connection that it can use. There we go. So the green's now going to loop around, but the blue line is going to go all the way through. Okay. Is there a need for 2 spots on here? No, but we have it built out just in case. Now, I am going to give this a parking fee of, let's say, $20. Let's also rename this ferry line. We're going to change this to Island Hopper. So we've got an Island Hopper line, which really is just stopping at all the ports in this central area. I like that. I'm thinking along this central area, we could get away with some signature buildings. Because we did the unlock all for the industrial port, I have a ton of buildings that I could use. What does this one look like? This is the Gatehouse Residences. Now, some are going to fit, some are not. That's okay. And we get the joy of trying to force them to fit in sections they don't want to. I might have to do a lot of this by hand like this, because this should fit in the middle here in a perfect world. Yeah, it does. We want it facing like this. Okay, yep, it's giving some like beach vibes. Plus 10 well-being. It's going to be the best island to live on, period. Okay, we've got that guy. What other unique buildings do we have? We have things like this, which is fine, but I don't think I would build that down here. Colossal Tower, it's a little big. It is a little big. I wasn't thinking we're going to go that tall. Another kind of smaller building. Smaller in terms of footprint, but has still some decent height here. If this was tucked in right there, what does that look like? The only downside is in reality, you would never build it so that the stairways are looking out. You would build it so that it's facing the ocean one way or the other, and people can get the view of the ocean on the corner of D and Treeing Walker. Oh, okay, but the only problem there is we lose all that parking, which we don't want to do. So I think we rotate it around and we put it on D and Bassett. Sorry, guys. That makes a bit more sense, too, because then like we're not losing parking lanes, but you're still getting views of the ocean. Okay, we'll take it. We've got all kinds of smaller buildings. I don't want any of those. Hotel. Tiny, but still a hotel. EE Shopping Center. EE Theater. All right, what's this hotel? -1 import cost, +1 attractiveness, +5 well-being within a certain range. I mean, it's tinier than I was anticipating, for sure. But that could be a nice transitional piece. Like, we have this hotel back here. Then we're going to have some buildings along that way. Okay, okay. I don't hate it. The Sunshine Hotel, we definitely want that over here. I think we put it right here. We need something a little bit bigger just behind. Do we have anything that can do that? We do have some offices, which I recognize we have no office demand. However, as a signature building, we can make it work. Now, some of these are way too big. What about the downtown office building? It's a little tall. Does it fit in this row? If it does, it's happening. It's happening. It's a little tall, but what I think is a building like this works perfectly because it kind of looks like a hotel. We've got a few buildings there already, which is looking nice. I did go in. I believe I favorited some buildings. Let's see if I actually did. Yes. Okay, I favorited these. This is the Chinese bonus low rent level 5. It's a 4x4. I thought these looked nice because we could do multiple of them together and it would look pretty decent. Like, what if... I think 2 next to each other is strange. I'm not a fan. Can I do it and still keep 2 zone tiles there? No. It does, in fact, take over the tiles. All right, let's leave that alone. That's great. It's already level 5, so I don't need to lock the building. What's the next option we've got? We have a CN bonus residential Chinese high. This I also very much enjoy. Can I fit this in here? Yes. It's going to go right in here. With the building against this other building, I think that just the height there works pretty nicely. Let's get rid of that building. I don't know if I love it. Yes. Okay. This is pretty decent. Pretty decent. Can I put trees in the middle of this road without losing the parking? Like if I was to grab palm trees, can they go in the middle there and we still keep all the parking? They sure can. There we go. Come on, people. Come on down to our tourist island. Get on in here. I'm not appreciative of you're not enough customers. We're working on it. You have 9 rented rooms. Just let us keep going. We're going to get there, I promise. We also have this Chinese residential. Yes, this also is very much giving hotel. It's just a residential building, so it's going to work kind of in both respects. Like, I'm wondering if this is gone and if this is gone, and instead, if that building, this Chinese building, goes here along this road. Just like that. Yeah. I think I like that more. All right, so we've got 3 pretty tall buildings there. We also have the EE residential. I like that this is a circle. I really like this as a circle. It could go somewhere fun, like right here on this corner. There's nothing else that's going to go over here. So we place that there. It's starting to bring that height back down again, which I like. And we have the the EU commercial hotel. This is mad small, so I must have liked that for some other reason. EU residential high. This is another really good one. This would become the tallest building in the area, and there is actually a spot that this could go. And I think we're going to do it. And I think we maybe, now seeing that, I think we need to add a key wall. We have wide key with pedestrian path. Wide key with pedestrian path. Shallow rib. I want a shallow rib. It can be small. It doesn't have to be a big one. Let's turn off snap to sides of buildings. Let's go ahead and get a continuous curve. That's going to go to there. And then we're going to figure out how to fade it out. Okay. Now, let's figure this portion out. I would love it to be, frankly, to the height of this. Actually, no, I wouldn't. I'm going to grab this height right here. Oh, hold on. We've got keys on both sides. Let's remove that back side there. Just like that. Yep. Actually, I like that goes flat. It kind of blends pretty nicely. All right, let's grab this. Try to hide the mistakes here without making it terrible. That's decent. Okay, we've got a lot of people coming over here now. Now, Dog Isle, you've got 2,900 residents so far. Only one entrance that has a bridge that raises. This is going to be a problem for sure. Traffic is already backing up as people move in from both directions. And there's only one entrance to this island, and I'm not changing that. So, good luck, people. Good luck. We got a bunch of other stuff in here favorited. I don't think many of it is buildings. We do have some NA commercial buildings. I just don't know if we need any more tall buildings down here. I think in terms of tall buildings, we've covered it. I will say this USNE office, I know that we don't need it, but something about this feels appropriate for this area. Entrance of it facing the Blue Dog Isle. Let's click on this guy. First of all, let's make it white. I think that looks much better. And then we're going to lock it just like this. I don't ever want that upgrading. Now right here, it's screaming for a park of some kind. I think we must listen. Let's try to fit something that's a little bit decorative, a little bit nice. This fits perfectly. The ring park also fits and kind of matches what we've got going on here. Beautiful. So now we've got a little connection there. And I think, honestly, for most of this, we can just put in some grass along the edges and call this area a day. Okay. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Along this road, I wonder if this actually gets repurposed into a space for parking. Now, we could just use some parking roads, or we might be able to get away with using these guys. What is this one? This is the canopy-covered parking lot. What does that look like when it flattens everything out? Not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It only has 8 spots, though. For what we're getting, that gives me 16. It's just not nearly as pretty. Okay, or alternative, bring this road out. Just enough to give us a little connection point there. Upgrade these. Can we do that? We can upgrade this one. Move this to here. We should then be able to upgrade this one. Is there any world where we can fit? Actually, you know what? I know we're going to lose parking for this, but I think we have to. I think we must. And we're going to Anarchy 1 right there. I don't know how long it will last, but we're going to pretend it's going to last. Let's go ahead and also get a little path right here. Kind of connecting right up and in. This all have to be detailed in the future here. And then I think we're seeing a lot of people moving in. We're not seeing a lot of places for people to park. This appears like it would have some parking, but it does not. And we don't have any services. So let's go ahead and figure out how we're going to get these people to park in here. Now, in addition to flat parking lots, we also have the automated parking building, which is huge and way too big. So no thank you. We could do the underground parking. Again, it's pretty big. And it would be weird to park underground when the water over in this area is going to be so damaging. So instead, let's sneak in a little parking garage right here. I think mixed in with everything, it's not as offensive. I also think we'd have a second parking garage maybe over here. It's a little further away from everybody, but we're going to need it, right? And then I think you could get away with like having a parking lot squeezed in somewhere along here, but let's just wait and see. Now, let's look at services, because I want to do services before we think about doing businesses and more residential. Blue Dog Isle doesn't have any services of its own. We can see there's a need for medical, and there's a need for death care. And at the moment, we're sitting around 2,600 residents, which is kind of crazy. Here they all come. They're just streaming in, waiting to get past this bridge. How bad is it? Terrible. Horrendous. I mean, we are moving in, 3,000 people? I think doing a hospital would just be too big. Like, there's not a world where there's a small hospital. Now, actually, hold on. This one, Urban Medical Center, a medium-sized healthcare facility that provides healthcare for a large area and takes care of sick and injured citizens. Keeps citizens in its service area healthier, can be upgraded with specialized clinics and an underground ambulance depot. I mean, I did see it could fit here. I don't know if I want the hospital right on the main drag. What if it was right off the main drag? Over here along Gray Street. Not on Bassett. You will only focus here on Blue Dog. You can get some upgrades. You can have a specialized clinic. Oh, wow. Okay. And a space-saving underground depot, adding several additional ambulances. I don't think we need 30 more ambulance. We've already got 10. Let's see how that goes first, and then we can figure out if we need to add more. Right, the problem with death care is everything here is too big. The UK, the Netherlands, the small cemetery, even the small, like that's an entire city block. And I do find it weird that like on this very small island with such a low water table, you would have bodies underground. Like I don't want to build underground stuff. It doesn't make sense. That's stupid. Let's do the French crematorium. Doesn't have a lot of storage and will probably very quickly get overrun in this area. But I could see this here versus anything else. Actually, shut it down. It could fit right there. Is that a little morbid to have it like right next to this other building? Yes. And does it necessarily fit with the style? Up close, no, but from afar, you don't even notice. I think right behind it, we just go ahead and slap in some grass. Follow me on this journey. We're going to slap in some grass. Let's throw down some trees. Nothing crazy. But if we have some trees right here in the corner, everything looks better. Look at that. Look at that. Traffic-wise, yeah, we're getting a little backup here. And there's still backups over this way. What's your guys' issue? Oh, that it's a light. Yeah, this doesn't actually need to be a light. This, you can just flow right on in. Unfortunately, though, we're going to have the issue where people are trying to cross over each other. And apparently you guys are allowed to turn that way, which you're not. You have to go straight. Give us some extra lanes here. Let people feed in. And then once they are all fed in, then we're fine. But at the moment, we've got a backup going all the way down over here past the industrial port, which is not ideal. But I think this is going to get us moving. Once the bridge closes, you guys can all get in pretty easy. Yeah, you're golden. You're golden. Okay, so we've dealt with health and we dealt with death care. Trash, you guys are fine. Schools. Schools. Do we even bother? This area is already wealthy. I think they can be wealthy and uneducated. I'm fine with that. We don't need schools over here. I'm not doing a school. We do need fire coverage, though. We have one that's dedicated here to the port, and I did place down another fire station somewhere that has, I think this one over here, that might have emergency response to it. No, that wasn't. Oh, yeah, that one does have emergency response. So that one can, like, help when buildings get destroyed. It's a little far. I think we could benefit from having one in this area as well. I wouldn't mind it being, like, a really big one, just to kind of like help fill space. But again, the problem we're going to have is they're going to be too big. Maybe we place it right here on this corner. It's small, but soon we're going to get into single family homes and houses. So that makes sense. We definitely need some police coverage over here. We currently have none. This German police station, although kind of a wild in terms of matching the current style, could be kind of fun. There's also the UK police station. It's a little big, little big. I would say city police station is overkill, but actually, I don't think it is, because this is a huge tourist area. So we're going to want to have extra support for the police. And this is what? A helipad? Luckily for all of us, we can't place it. Let's actually rotate this. Let's place it against this building, and then we can fit the helipad in there. We might as well. We just might as well. Let's do it. Okay. You guys can focus anywhere, but I do hope your primary focus stays this area. That would be ideal. I don't really need headquarters. I don't need intelligence services, although like some of these headquarters are awesome. Like, look at that building. I didn't actually build a police headquarters anywhere in this city. We don't need the prison. I just refuse to build it right now. Administration buildings, it's just going to take up space. It's unnecessary. Now we probably want to do some type of bus, but how? We've got a ferry, which is great. And the ferry is taking people to here. They can easily go to Old City or transfer onto the Green Line and kind of go up and into the rest of the city that way. We also have this main road, which is great, but we probably need a bus to get people moving and grooving. So I'm going to say, oh, look at that. An NA bus stop shelter with bike stands. I like that a lot. I'm going to say we don't need a ton of busing down here. If I look, this main drag has our bike lanes on it, so I don't want to mess with that. Okay, so I think we're going to do a bike stop. Nope, we're going to do a bus stop. It's overlapping. It's overlapping. What do you mean? Here. Place it here for the moment. Just back it up for a sec. So I want a bus stop over here with bike parking. We'll place it right there. So, stop there. It can then go up into this neighborhood. We don't need this one to be a sheltered stop, but it can stop right up here at the peak before coming back down. Then we'll come back down. We're not going to stop here on this road. And if I stop over here, I do mess things up, I believe. But we could potentially... No. See how it gives me that curb? So I don't want to mess anything up there. So it's going to stop here. It'll loop itself back around. Maybe instead it actually stops right here. It stops right in the middle of this section, this neighborhood, if you will. It'll loop itself back around. And it's going to come over here, and it's going to stop right here. Clear the parking off of here. It'll then move its way through here. I know we're 2 blocks away, but that's okay. This is close enough to this entrance. And we'll have an additional stop right here on this far end. And maybe we'll have a stop right here that's kind of, out front of that building. Then it's going to have to turn and go over the bridge. It's going to take the highway, but take the highway to where? We do have bus stops here. I could see us building in a small transfer right here. Zoom in on this and move this guy to here and get rid of that little bus stop. And we're going to start over here. You're going to drive down this horrendous highway all the way over to here, and you're going to drive right back. Yeah. That's going to be used to get you into the downtown, right? But then when you're down here, we're going to have a looping line that goes from here down to here, over to here on, what was this? Something H Street. We love to see it. It'll then loop itself back around and come right back down. All this is doing is kind of servicing the island, but we have another line that's bringing people in. So you can take that bus to here, transfer, and if you want to get over here, basically stay out of the rain the whole time. We probably need more parks, but first, let's do some residential. I really like the waterfront buildings. This is a 2x2, which you could really pack them in. I mean, I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could really pack them in with 2x2s. There's also a 2x3. Here's the problem I have with this. Let's just build out. Let's build out a few of them here. If I were to turn this off and just go like this. Let's just do this real quick just to look at it. So we do this, right? It's a lot of empty space between houses. I know zoning-wise it's not, but I really just want like a thin little house that fills the entire block. For these to get good, they have to be quite large. Actually, this is not bad, but it's facing the wrong way. I need it facing like this so I can go boop, 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 boop. I gotta find the right building. Let's just mess around until I find the right guy. Okay, so we've got a ton of new buildings plopped over here. There's a little bit of detailing work that still needs to be done, but overall, I'm liking how this is filling out. I did have to put cul-de-sacs and everything. You'll notice these were here before. These are not new from this particular moment in time, but without the cul-de-sacs, I couldn't name my streets. So that's the whole reason we've got cul-de-sacs. what if we were to really force some of these guys in? Do you think we could fit 3? So let's try to just squeeze in as many as we can. All right, so now we've got a bunch of residential on that side, which is great. Our traffic has completely died down, which means everyone's moved in and living here. We got to now figure out our transition. There's got to be something to happen from all of these tall buildings to these smaller buildings. And I think the first thing that has to happen is we need a park. We need a better park in this area. There's none really over here. This building is functioning as a park for some reason. I'm not mad about it. I just don't understand. So instead, let's figure out if we can get a park. One that would fit right here would be really nice. Well, okay, and there's one that fits perfectly. That's going to be a bit too big. That's too big. Okay, so we only have one option there, one true option. There's also things like the bicycle park. It's a little small. Oh, actually, hold on. The Dockyard Lounge Park. This would make total sense over here. And would also fit right there really nicely. Should this go up here along the front? If this is the entrance, does that like just sneak in right there? I don't know. That feels like it could have a better life somewhere else. I think it needs to be along the water. This is the kind of building that goes like right here. We might have to do a little bit of work with our surfaces, but otherwise that looks pretty good. All right, the transition. I mean, here. This is going to go a long way. If I were to come in here, sneak in some palms, kind of in our open areas. Okay, this looks pretty good. We've got a collection of all different kinds of EU buildings. Some of them are commercial, some are just residential, all different sizes, all different levels. And I think it's nice and dense and compact. We've left nothing to waste here. We could have taken it further and also placed them along the edges of the actual coastline or shoreline, but I do want to put a little bit of sand texture along there, sand surface, and just start to make that look a little bit more beachy. So I think this is great here. Bassett Ave has our bike lane, so we're going to do it facing Bassett Ave because that's where the bike lane is. I could also see maybe trying to sneak in a little bit of parking. We don't have a lot of parking throughout this entire build. So if there are any areas where we can maybe place some on our own, we should. We could do I don't want underground. Large bicycle parking hall. Is there a 2-lane? Oh my God. Bicycle parking hall. Yep. That's going right there. That's perfect. And does this have any upgrades? It has an additional storage space, which we just tack on, and a changing room, which again we tack on. Screw it. I say you do both. And then what we'll do is we'll just take these surfaces and we're just going to expand them straight on out to fill this whole area. I think that's perfect. So that has filled that whole area in. But now we got to hug these 2 blocks with some commercial, maybe some more residential, but something to give us a little bit of a curve in terms of our density and our height. Do we have any, speaking of parks, any other tourist attractions that would maybe fit over here? Well, that's a no. That's also a no. We do have a water park. We do have a water park. The medieval castle, no. Unique old lighthouse. That's an option. And the traditional Chinese temple. Hold on, let's do this water park. Like, heck yeah. You come down here, you're here to see the sights, and for all the people who don't actually feel like getting in the ocean, they come over here to the water park. With this placed here, I actually think that this area all becomes parking lot. Is it going to be pretty? Absolutely not. If I was to take a 1-lane road up to here, over to here, right? And then we were to take it... Really, I just want it to sit right next door. Like, I want this to be right here. If I turn everything off but these grid lines, can we make it work? Doesn't look like it. It doesn't like to be right next to it, which I wish it would, because that would work so much better. Because it also means I can't place it right next to this, which isn't ideal. But, let's just go with it. If I do this, and then I take a 1-lane road from here to here, and a 1-lane road from here to here, I mean, we lose so much parking. This is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's only at 20-some spaces, but I guess that's not terrible. And we were to bring this straight on up and in. Actually, what if we one-wayed and one-wayed? I don't know. It's a part of this. It's a little extra something. If I go in here with Move It, we grab all of these nodes, we set them all to the same height, and then I use a little surface, and don't worry, there's going to be a ton of detailing we do. Most of that will probably just be off camera. Let's be real. But if all of this starting from here to here, cuts over to here, goes to this corner, comes up, cuts over, cuts over, cuts over, and goes right back down, we've now made the most beautiful parking lot the man has ever seen. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, we're going to have some illegal parking around here. We're just going to leave it. I'm not going to stress about it. It is what it is. There's no sense in getting all bent out of whack. I've still not dealt with the issue I have of our height. Instead, we're gonna ignore it. It's the healthy way to deal with things. We're going to go like this and turn everything else off. Send it down and around. I am going to keep the snap to angles on just because I think that's a valuable thing to have snapped to. Bam. So now we've got this kind of like walkway along the edge there. That's great. Could still, I think, have a lot more done to it. I guess technically this is part of the transition, right? Like this type of build is what is in the middle. So it's officially a part of the transition from low to high. Oh, you know what? The ferry depot has an add-on that allows it to get a bus stop. Hold on. Hold the phone. Oh, you know, we could do that, but if we do that, we lose all that parking. And I will say I like the parking that's there. So we're going to not do that. We're going to leave it. All right. We've got that section kind of built out, which looks pretty nice. Now let's get some more commercial buildings in here. We do have a demand for commercial buildings. I do think, unfortunately, it's one of those things we're going to have to do by hand. And instead of just doing commercial buildings, what we could do is we could do mixed use buildings, specifically urban promenade mixed use. I think there's a world where we could build some type of nice building to go over here. If we did, this is a level 2. I'm not mad at a level 2. If we did this there on that edge, there's also this guy which faces the other direction. Is there a middle piece? Okay, this is helpful because we could take this and go just like this here, or actually we're going to go back to this. There's no 3x3? No, there is. It's just an end piece. All right, I'm going to place another building right here. We're going to have these two buildings side by side. It's not too high, but it is helping with that transition. I see this entrance path here, and that is the perfect spot for another pathway. And you know what? I say let's go for the big one. Go for the big one. All right, what else can we put over here? We've got some funky size shapes here. What's the zonable land? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 4. 5 by 4. Let's see. Do we have anything there that meets that? No. What if we did 4 by 5? No. And this is all for this particular style. If we do another style, there is these southwest buildings, which could look really nice over here. This is a mixed use building. It doesn't get any higher than that. That's the level 5. I think that's actually the perfect style building for this area. I think it's fantastic. And then behind it, I mean, A, option A, we do the exact same building, which frankly does not look that bad. But if we did 4 width instead, I don't think an EU building would work or a German building. We do have some more of this urban promenades buildings. The problem is it's kind of one-sided. Like there's nothing on the other end, which makes it look a little weird. Similarly to this, like that's cool, but it's going to leave the whole backside open, and we don't want to do that. But some of these southwest buildings are designed to be able to sit kind of standalone, and I think that could look nice. But I say we go for it. But can we change the colors? Who picked these? It's much better. It fits the style down here way more. I'm not going to place surfaces in here. Instead, we're just going to place a number of palm trees, and we'll do a different style of palm tree just to kind of fill it in. Then we're going to use a lot of these bushes. And this will be something I do mainly off camera, but I think leaning into these very low bushes is going to help us a lot in terms of making it feel like this is filled in. It's got a little bit of dense tree coverage, but like kind of realistic in a sense, you know, like that looks pretty decent. There definitely needs to be trees along here. We'll have to come back to that. All right, I like that transition. I think that's pretty strong. We've got this park here, which is beautiful, and looks like there's a ton of people in the park. People who live here just have a great old time. But there's a ton of people hanging out right now. I love that. All right, right here we've got this beautifully large block, and I'm torn. Because part of me feels like there's got to be a really cool signature building that goes here. Like, there's got to be. But then part of me realizes, like, this isn't actually that much space. Like, what is this building? This is the Westwood Center. A regular shopping center with a mural and a rooftop lounge is actually a chic, sophisticated entertainment complex that provides unique experiences for trendy citizens. It's cool, but it's just not going to work there. Up here we've got Bait and Bistro, which technically would fit. Food Station, that won't fit. I think my concern is that although these look cool, they're not the right... It's not the right place for them. Maybe we just go with some like base commercial over here. If I just do commercial only... Maybe there's some good commercial buildings we could use. I'm doing all the different styles. Some of the Japanese pack actually might not be too bad. I will say, I think I'm a big fan of this one. Not in that color, but let's go with that one, because then we can place a building right next to it, which feels like it matches nicely. It's a good kind of transitional entrance. I'm into that. I feel like along the backside here, we could do something similar. We got a little bit of traffic here, red light. But I think you guys are moving okay. Okay enough for me, at least. And on this side, we could do a building that ends the other direction, like this, with another path connecting right on through. All right, I'm going to go through and just place down some additional buildings over here. Let's just fill in some of this and get this area done. All right, we got another block finished here. I added in some little pathways to kind of connect everybody up. And then we've got some of these old town buildings along the waterfront here with the bars and the restaurants. And then I added in a EU old town building as well as one of the EU mixed housing units. I think that just looks really interesting along that side. And then we slid in a little Chinese hotel there, or really residential building. We're going to pretend that they're hotels. So now... basically, this whole half of the island is done, other than some additional detailing. Now let's do these 2 blocks. Okay, I realized I left the game paused. So some things have happened while the game was paused. One, we finished out this area here. So this here is just a mix of random commercial buildings that we placed down. I think they look pretty nice. Funny enough, this is the first time I've used the Mediterranean Heritage medium density housing. I placed 4 of them to make this square. gave it a little walk and bike path next to it. I think it looks pretty good. I added in a little marina here. We've got just a little spot where you can come up and park on nice days. You wouldn't leave your boats here during the actual, overnight or anything. This is just, you stop by, you bring your cooler up or whatever, sit on the beach, then you get back on and you can park in the protected marina, which is back here by this little park area we've built. Again, this is nothing crazy. Like, this is just some small detailing that I didn't get to capture on the recording. I did add a water tower just because I thought it looked kind of fun. And we added in the beach texture all along the front. And then in adding in that water tower, I realized I probably should have a real lighthouse. So we now have a lighthouse over here, and it has the lighthouse restaurant. So we've got this old lighthouse with the restaurant and these rocks around it. I think that looks pretty nice. Looking through all of our services, I think we've got more than enough parking. Let's just check. How is this parking lot doing? If I click on it, 256 of 300. This one over here has 39 of 220, so we still have an upgrade we can add to this, which is great. And our bike parking only has 1 of 80 bikes. So all around, they're doing pretty well. This actually looks really, really nice. I'm happy with this so far. All right, power, we're fine. Water, we're fine. Although you seem to be saying, oh, you use a lot of power. Got it. So you're okay. You just use a lot. Healthcare and death care could be a little bit better, but I think their health will rise with time. We've got our garbage covered. We did not build any schools, and funny enough, we built no schools, but everyone who lives here is basically educated, so it's fine. We have a fire department. We have a police station. We've got a bus, a ferry, and a road connection, so that's pretty strong. We're covered in parks and unique buildings, so it's a tourism hotspot. And then I don't believe I just captured this on camera, but I did place down a, telecom tower? Radio mast, which actually, you know what? Let's just give it all the upgrades. I did place down a radio mast just to make sure this area is covered. I know it's kind of in the residential section, but the only other option to place it was over here, and then most of it is just covering the water, which is unnecessary. So here it's covering all the residents, and I think makes a little bit more sense. Other than that, we added in this sandy texture, and I think it looks pretty good. This is our new Blue Dog Isle. I think she looks amazing. If I just click on her, she's got 4,200 residents. They're all wealthy, and they do have an urban medical center assigned to them. Do we want to give them any special policies? We are going to ban heavy traffic. There's no reason for you to have heavy traffic here. We're going to say they love to bike in this area, and there is a roadside parking fee, and there is a speed bumps because it's a small little island. But now we've got kind of like a little touristy section for our city. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. And I will say, although we had that initial wave of traffic with everybody trying to move in, this is working pretty well. I'm kind of impressed. Right here, we're getting a little bit of a backup, mainly because of this light. But all things considered, it's not too bad. I am going to go ahead and just place this upgrade on here. I think we're going to need it eventually. I did also place a few of these larger homes along this edge, which I think looks pretty decent. All right, guys, I think that's where we're going to end this part here. A quick shout out to my channel members. Thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, click the link in the description below to unlock custom emojis, loyalty badges, early access to videos, save game files, members only content, merchandise discounts, and more. And until next time, leave your questions, comments, and feedback down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Lorelai, follow your dad out. I can't have your tippy taps. I can't edit them out.